Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 1. That's right, folks. This is a new book from Dynamite. It is from writer David Pepose, and he's been doing a couple of these types of like nostalgia, early cartoon characters as comics recently. I know he did Space Ghost, or is currently doing Space Ghost as well. And I think the one that was announced after this was Speed Racer. So, it's kind of cool that Dynamite's getting a hold of some of these characters to turn them into comic books. There is definitely a place for Captain Planet today. This is a character who deserves to be talked about today. There is so much you could say about the way the Earth exists today that you can do through the lens of a guy who's trying to save it through the powers and elemental forces that be on this Earth. Reading this issue, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and I was genuinely surprised by how positive it is. Not that that's like a bad thing, I think that's an element of the cartoon. I should also say, while I am aware of the character of Captain Planet, the cartoon was before my time, and as a concept, I don't think my generation is really into everything going on with Captain Planet. But I'm well aware of the characters, I'm well aware of the world. It's just never something I've actively followed all of. So, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that this is very hopeful and optimistic, and is setting itself up to just be like a more mature telling of the classic story, or maybe there's more gunfire and violence, we get to pick things in a different way. If you were to give me Captain Planet, and I'm glad this is not the angle we're seeing from David Pepose at the moment, if you were to give this to me, I would have made it like he's really depressed at the state of the world. Like, that's just where my mind goes when trying to do like a comic book mature telling of Captain Planet. But I guess I shouldn't like go for a mature rating because this book is rated teen as it depicts on the cover. So that's what I guess you should expect, is a book for teens, which makes sense. I think there's a whole generation of young people who are very active and wanting to change stuff, and let's explore some of that. So this book opens up on Hope Island. We are following Gaia. She's running away from people who are pursuing her with guns, and she's using the elements of the rings to defend herself, like using the trees to grab people. She's suddenly like caught in the crossfire, and like there's some helicopter shining on her, so she tries to escape. She does use the rings in her power to try to summon Captain Planet, and it does work, and Captain Planet shows up with a modern redesign. He's got some like rocks for shoulder pads or something. It's trying to make him more like earthly, and I think that's working pretty good. He is kind of just classically charming. He's like a good guy who just shows up, protects her, and he's like, hey, I'll get you out of this situation, Gaia. You're in good hands here. Let's get you out of here. I'll use the powers I know how. And then the people that are pursuing her are like, that's just an unknown man who's flying. So that's weird. I don't know how we're going to deal with that. Captain Planet kind of short circuits their helicopter, so they go down, but he does specify that no one's going to die. Again, there is another way you could handle this book and this character, which is he's killing the people that are destroying the Earth, but part of him just being the classic Captain Planet is no one has to die. We can do this the right way. But then suddenly some guy with a machine gun, or like I think it's actually a minigun, just like shoots him in the back, and he falls, and he's just like deteriorating. He's like, you need to run. Go, Gaia, go, go, go. And then she's hit, and she's down. And then we see that somebody named Argos Bleak has her in custody, but the problem is she sent the rings away. So we see like the rings headed through space. And then we're going to see them go to the people they go to. That's the rest of the book. It's just the rings are being distributed. I think these are the characters from the original story of Captain Planet. I'm sorry if I am mistaken, but some of these names sound vaguely familiar, so maybe we've updated like a couple of them, or we made them more like properly based on where they should be located. Like when we first head to Ghana and we meet Kwame, and he's just like chilling, he's on his phone, and he's watching like footage of himself playing soccer, but he hurt himself, and He's upset by that. So he's trying to like help his uncle do a couple deliveries when suddenly like a dam breaks nearby. It's going to flood the whole village. But he has the ring magically bestow itself on him, so he uses it to save his village. And that is because Kwame is given the power of Earth. Pretty cool. We then cut to Detroit, where there's a huge factory fire, and there's like a protest outside because the people were let go, because the company was leading to a more like automative, like, you know, less workers, more just technology based. A big explosion happens in the lab. Nothing is looking good, but then we see somebody carrying out someone who was caught in the fire, and this is James, and James has been given the power of fire. Very cool. He looks a lot like Guy Gardner in that one picture. It's kind of funny to me. Anyways, let's cut to Russia, where there's a band playing in like an abandoned building, and they're wearing masks. It's like hidden, we're hiding our identity, and then like the police show up and they're like raiding down on this, and you just see like this masked singer like uses her power and she forces them out of the room. She's like, no, we're gonna rock on, dude. Screw all you. You just got hit by a whirlwind, baby. And that's Linka, and she was given the power of wind. And she just like, just from these introductions, she's my favorite character. They're all very interesting, and I'm sure we're going to explore them more as this book goes on. But come on, how can you not just like a punk rock Russian singer beating up police? That is just so my vibe. Anyways, let's go to South Korea, where we're going to witness like, I guess they're monitoring like sea patterns and sea changes and like atmospheric temperatures and pressures, and you see that there's this guy and he's trying to hit on this girl G, and G's not having any of it because G's clearly interested in like another lady scientist that works there. And it's just kind of funny, and suddenly they get like some weird readings and something else is going on, so they go outside to check it out. A big storm is taking up the ship around them. There's nothing they can do, but they like run outside onto the main deck, and G is given one of the rings as well, and she stops all of the stuff from overtaking them, so the water freezes, and that is when G is given the power of water. So we have one more ring to distribute. We are going to head to Brazil, where we see like a factory is being destroyed. Just like a disgusting mining operation or something. Was it mining? There's like stealing water, and they're like, what is it? Burning down our homes, attacking our families, stealing our precious water, all to mine your poisoned white gold, your toxic lithium. So you see like a jaguar like climb on top of this like guy who works there, and that's when we are introduced to Mati, and Mati has the power of heart, and he's controlling the animals to like attack this guy. It's really cool. Really cool. I like all these guys. Mati's another one I'm really digging. I like that energy. Anyways, we then hear the voice of Guy like, you got all the rings. Okay, you were chosen for the way you want to protect this Earth. You're the Planeteers now. Good on you. So whatever's coming next, you got to prepare. You got to come find me in New York. All of you get together. Bring Captain Planet together. Please save me. Everything's great. And that's when we introduce to the main villain of this arc, and it is Lucian Plunder, and he shows up at the end and is like, call them all you want, but there's no way the Captain Planet and the Planeteer gang are going to save you now. You ruined it. Humanity's mind to control, and that's where the book ends. It is a lot of setup, which I do understand, but one of the things I always wonder is, do people who not know Captain Planet get invested in a new Captain Planet comic book? I think about that every time one of these things happens. Like Thundercats was the last one in my mind where I'm like, if you don't know Thundercats, or you get to start with the latest Thundercats book. Saying that, I am reading this Captain Planet book without knowing a lot about Captain Planet, but I don't know. I think it's interesting that we're just doing the story. I think like you could have started at a different point where things are together or they're a little different. But you know what? Maybe it is somebody's first time reading this, and they want to see the characters come together and like the conflicts that come with that. I'm not against that. There's something to explore in that capacity. So let's see what you got. I'm curious where this is going to go. If you are all interested in seeing this continue, I'd like to keep covering this book, but we will see what happens. If not, it's very interesting. I'm on board with it. I want this character to be prominent again. Who has the rights now? So Dynamite, who do they partner with like a toy manufacturer? Because I would like some modern Captain Planet toys, please. So, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 1. I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.